on top of a cooling fan system, and I just bopped it and it got quiet. There we go.
I agree. You should get it checked because when the room is cold, it shouldn't be working that hard.
This episode is brought to you by the Catholic Church.
Oh God, I'm out. Bye. I don't want to burn flames or what.
This is how it is.
Oh, you little child, Gary. You haven't been touching yourself nearly as much. Let me help you.
This is how it is. Today on Pop Culture Minefield.
Pop Culture Minefield.
Here's Johnny.
And that's it. So it is Saturday, and it is time to talk about a movie. Although there was this photo taken recently up there in New Jersey of some of those drones, and they think they figured it out. It's all deliveries to Chris Christie of McDonald's hamburgers. He's look at that fucker.
More McDonald's.
You're just being fat phobic.
You know what? You know when I got chubby? I got chubby so I could own the fat jokes.
Fed it, please.
Vinny is here right now, and Joe was here. Joe should be on the show.
And Chris Moonlight should be on the show.
I agree.
Where's Chris? Where is Chris?
They don't love us anymore.
On Omega 13.
Oh,
He can take a 2-hour break.
No, he can't. His FX demand it. Render us, Christopher. Render us.
okay. Well, let's see how this goes.
See how what goes.
The whole thing, the whole enchilada.
Enchilada.
This movie has the best and worst title because it was a really great title back in the day, but now with the internet, you have to really search for it to find it.
Well, because the executives didn't want to be called that; they wanted something else. But the guys, the creative minds behind it, the producers and the writers, were like, "No, you don't understand. This title is fantastic. You don't understand. This is a perfect title for a film." And they were right. It got attention.
Title for will be a network someday.
YouTube's doing it again, apparently.
So so YouTube doing its typical thing.
YouTube doesn't like FX.
No, they don't like us.
Yeah, that's what I think.
But the feeling's mutual. I don't like them either. So, why aren't you on here, Joe? Aren't you off on Saturdays? Well, I love this movie too. Join us, Joe. Join us. Join the dark side.
I was saying if they want to piggyback off something, call it MacGyver.
Well, there's a lot of comparisons to it, because MacGyver came out later. But the fact is I think somebody saw this movie and said, let's make a show about this and not call it that. Because they actually made a show about FX because they were going to do a third film, but Orion went they went bankrupt. And so it got put into development hell. And then when they got bought up, who bought them? I forgot. What studio bought them?
Orion,
Uh,
right?
MGM.
I think it was MGM. They bought him, and so instead they decided to try to make a TV series, a Canadian-produced TV series,
Yes.
and it was just awful.
I wouldn't say awful.
It was awful. I watched it. I was there too.
I watched it too, but
We were wanting, Raleigh. We wanted Dennehy's character. I forget his name, but oh my God, that's what we wanted, and we didn't get that. And I would like to see this film, a reboot of this, because effects have come so far, practical effects, not to mention using xenon mist and such. You can do 3D in the air and trick people. So many things they could do now.
yeah, Rolly would be Renee Zegler.
Renee Zellweger. Yeah, they would. Gender swap.
No, the chick for Snow White.
Oh, her.
Yeah.
Possibly, though. The problem now is you say FX, most people associate that with CG.
Yeah. Oh my God! Right. How are you gonna do an effect show when nobody's doing practical?
Yeah, but those of us that know that grew up around effects and such, you actually put CG before the effects, so we would know. But in '86, nobody fucking knew much about effects, which is why this movie is kind of funny, because there's a lot of little problems in the film, which is they've got him in charge of stunts too.
Maybe just a low budget movie.
And it's like, that's not how that works. They have a separate,
wait, what?
separate teams.
Bryan Dennehy?
Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, he died a while back, about a year ago, wasn't it?
They show this stunt with the fish tank or aquarium or whatever. It's not a budget movie that he's doing. This shit's expensive.
Yeah, Bryan left us with his daughter, who's famous for only one thing: Star Trek Next Generation. Best of both worlds. And of course, the Picard thing, where the last season of Picard. She's in that. You guys even know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Chinatsky, Martin.
I wasn't hearing. Please, can you?
Wasn't he
That's
one
fine.
of the
We're doing
Starfleet guys?
We're doing a fucking show, Martin.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's doing
I'm
the
sorry.
main-
I
What are you doing,
I
Martin?
was watching a news that Jeff Baena, filmmaker, he committed suicide today.
Wrong word.
Oh,
Oh,
Yep,
sorry,
bad word.
sorry.
I'm certain the boss will catch us for that one and shadow ban us even more. Tell me what he's made so I can place him.
Working on that.
he's the Parks and Recs woman, the one that was in Scott Pilgrim too. He's married to her. They did a couple films together.
Oh,
He's an
Aubrey
indie
Plaza, yeah.
scene. Yeah, Audrey Plaza. He did the one where like she dies, but then comes back, and it's basically
Zombie.
the whole thing of
yeah.
Life
I
Life
actually
After
thought that was
Deb.
funny.
Life After Bed, Joshi, The Little Hours, Horse Girl, Cinema Toes, Spin Me Around. Those were
The only one I know is the one with Aubrey Plaza as the zombie girlfriend. That's a good movie. I like that film. So anyway, Jacob, yes and no. I'm not ready for this storm. It's windows are shut and it's fucking cold in here. My feet are hurting. It's that cold. It's almost like I'm
going
back
to
in the
die
garage
my
again.
first winter there.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. I'm not made for this time of the year. I'm not made for cold. I don't do cold.
I've told you a billion
Right.
times. Don't
You live in
exaggerate.
freaking Vienna. How can you not?
I love it when you guys step on my fucking jokes.
Sorry.
That's okay. The joke was, I told you a billion times, don't exaggerate.
I'm not. I hate the cold. I needed
you
warmth
understand, nobody
Yes.
could have told somebody something a billion times.
Yeah.
It's a joke. Anyway.
Haha.
When you have to explain it, I'm in somewhat chilly south with the snow. What is
Yeah,
this?
we're getting snow tonight.
Oh, wait, who are we talking about? Oh, Dennehy.
Bryan.
Yeah, Dennehy was great. He's great in anything he does. And I always felt bad for him because he and or his manager overplayed his service during Vietnam. And he ended up having to go before a bunch of veterans and apologize. I think it was around 2000, in between 2000 and 2002. And it was humiliating. But, he got busted for, what do they call it? Stolen valor. But I'm like, it's not really stolen valor because he fucking served during Vietnam. It's just simply he overplayed his hand. But they nitpick now, and I watch them, and I agree with them. I mean, I wholly agree with them. You shouldn't bullshit what you did. But it caused a lot of confusion for like Charles Bronson, because there was a fight for years that said that he never got deployed from the United States during World War II, and he drove a truck in the United States, and he never fought him. It wasn't until after he was dead that, it finally came out. No, he served on a fucking bomber as a waist gunner in World War II in Europe. And he saw a lot of action. So those fucking people. They're like, what's the word I'm looking for? Karens for the military. And I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm just saying they kind of really go for the jugular every single time when you don't have to. And I always felt bad for Bryan Dennehy having to go before all those veterans to apologize. You're dishonoring a guy who actually did serve.
Well, how bad was it, like, compared to what he did? I guess that's the question.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything in Vietnam. I don't even think he saw action in Vietnam. That's sort of like a Fobbit, saying that they went outside the wire. And then all of a sudden 1,000 guys pounce on him. It's like, well, he's still there. He could have been killed, But, they just go every single time they go for the jugular. And
or Bush Jr.
Could you imagine every fight to the death? And it's not like they're wrong. It's just every single fight is to the fucking death. And it's just exhausting when I see these guys. That's why, and I love Don Shipley. I really do. I admire that guy. But I can only watch his videos for so long before I start just going, oh, man. There's a lot of crazy people out there that want to say they served. What bugs me is, and I think it bothers him too, is that you get these guys that actually did serve that overplay their hands. And he tends to not go after those guys. And that's why I like Don Shipley. Like, he's not even stepping in with this shit with Tim Kennedy. Because you got people within the Green Beret community going after Tim Kennedy. And he may have, once again, overplayed what he did. Now, he said he got 23 kills. We know he only got 21. And they go for the jugular with the claw. And they just like, what the fuck, man?
Well, you can exaggerate and be completely honest. Like, I've gone against enemies that I saw military personnel cower before.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yep.
And by the way, Tom, I would love to do watch-alongs. It's something we're trying to figure out. It's a fun show we do, but we're very limited in what we're able to do. That's why if you didn't read my response to you, Tom, I wrote a very long response to you on your comment because I felt like you deserved a proper answer for what you were asking. And the fact is, I don't I was, the way you said it was like, I felt like, are you even aware that we do interviews on this show? We just did one on Thursday. I love doing interviews. I was a journalist before I did any of this. And first person I ever interviewed was Bruce Campbell. How he and I became friends.
This channel doesn't show up like half the time when it's feed. Like I have to type in Pop Culture Minefield and then go to the channel directly to see when I know the channel's streaming. So I think it's shadow banning or something. Who knows?
Oh, I know it is. I know it is. I know they're fucking with us. But we still, look, we've got our dedicated audience, and I like the people that we have in the chat. And some shows will, like right now, we have 7 people watching us right now. That's it. We're normally up in the 50s, between 40 and 50 plus. We got six people. Somebody didn't like me mentioning that they were watching. They left.
Well,
That's
there are
YouTube.
other people who are live right now, who we share an audience with.
Yep.
And it shouldn't
Well,
be
Saturdays.
a competition, but unfortunately it is.
Yeah, the problem, Tom, that we have for doing interviews is I have to set them up. And I have a full-time job, plus the show. So it's really hard. I've been trying to find for a long time somebody that can step in and help with scheduling interviews, and I haven't found anybody. In fact, I just stopped looking because I'm like, I'll just do interviews now and again then. I can't plan our channel around interviews because it is hard to get interviews scheduled. When you have shows like, late night talk shows and stuff, they have an entire staff in charge of scheduling interviews. We don't have that. So it sucks. But it is what it is.
To be honest, you're the one with the connections.
Yeah. But I would gladly hand those connections over to somebody else if they were up for doing it.
Yeah, the thing is, I try to see it this way. You're a person of interest, and then some guy named Martin Acosta is trying to contact you for an interview. You're not going to pay attention to me.
Well, yeah, and I've got actors that have agreed to come on the show, but trying to get them narrowed down to come on here. And then I have to schedule the show around them.
Mm-hmm. That's the other
And
thing.
so I'm waiting for them to get back to me. Matthew Marsden really wants to come on the channel. One, to promote his show, his channel, and to talk about what he's done. No, and I agree with you on that because I watch other channels, Tom, and I know I'm a good interviewer. I fucking had Mike Barron on Thursday on Keith's channel, and I showed up there because I promised him I would be there. And I got him to talk about something that he's never talked about to anybody. Because just like, how did you end up in Colorado? Like, what on earth? How did you get there? And I got a story from him. It's tragic. And go watch that interview. It was tragic what happened.
Yeah, we all have to see bad interviews.
Maybe if we had an FX department. Speaking of segues.
Well, no, I'm not going to segue yet. Good try, though.
All right.
I've watched one of the worst interviewers I've ever seen is that Chris, the one who got Me Too'd, Hardwick. Chris Hardwick is one of the single worst interviewers I've ever seen. He's about to get this guest to say something, and then he starts laughing really loud and then interrupts the guest before they're about to say something. And I'm like, oh my God, you don't know. You're so fucking jittery and nervous, like a schoolgirl. You don't know how to just relax. and let your guests say some shit. I think one of the best interviewers I've ever seen is Sean Ryan. I love the way he engages with his guests and then shuts the fuck up.
I think Adrian Bardin had a good style because it was basically there's something about breaking bread or eating with another person that lowers the guard, and
That is very good, because one of the first lessons I learned, Shinatsky, was to approach celebrities the same way I approached crazy people when I was a paramedic. We were trained to do that, and it's referred to as common ground conversation, to find out things about that person and then share with them, and then you get them comfortable with you. Because I've done that during interviews. I got Ron Jeremy, the not
Not the Ron
the
Jeremy.
porn actor, but I'm sorry, not Ron Jeremy, Jeremy Roberts. Jeremy Roberts, completely different person. I got Jeremy Roberts to open about his Vietnam War experience, and he had never talked about it before. And he even said something. He goes, "Man, how'd you do that?" And I told him, I said, the trick is that when I was a paramedic, I was taught how to identify with my patients to get them to open up to me. And I said, so I just treat actors like they're crazy.
Okay.
so you're following through with objective reality. That's all.
Jeremy thought that was fucking funny. He laughed at that. I treat them like they're a crazy person, and it works. But getting onto the show here, we're going to be talking some more about FX. And you know what's really sad about this movie? There's not one behind the scenes making a video out there on YouTube. Not one. And
how many? I wonder what the split with the FX community was. Was it like, great, they're doing a movie about us, or oh god, they screwed so much of our shit up?
Well, there's actual stuff in this movie from other effects guys. They allowed that. Rick Baker's stuff is in this.
Which is very cool.
Yeah.
That they allowed that.
Cliff DeYoung is really good as a slime ball in this. Jerry Orbach, he was a nobody when he made this movie.
I do miss that. I do miss when you could just have bad guys who are bad guys.
Yeah, but I like bad guys that are bad guys for a reason, not just for the sport of it.
I like it when you watch a movie and you're like, man, he's bad, but damn it, I kind of like him.
That has to be like a fucking fake name. You know, his name is Melbourne. I just laugh every single time Anima brought it up while we're making it. It's like, who would name their child that? I went, I know, right? It's got to be a fake fucking name.
It's
although my dad does have a colleague and his last name is Schuh in German, which means shoe. And they had a baby boy, and they called him Dennis. So he's basically tennis shoe. Horrible.
No. Oh, that was a name. Hold on. I was waiting for that name to pop up. Sorry. This is an important name. Right there.
Wiener.
No, he means Dodi Fayed, who's actually Dodi Al Fayed.
Oh man, that guy is
the gentleman that died with Princess Diana.
Did he die too?
Oh wow.
Yes, they both died.
Yeah.
Well, the three of them, the driver too.
Yeah, nobody cared about the driver. So.
Yeah, and who names their kid Jack with the name Wiener?
Right?
He
can be a person, place, and a thing.
Could
all at the
be
same
worse.
time.
Could have been Dick.
It's like you needed to have a really bad name to be on this.
Imagine Richard Wiener, so you're Dick Wiener.
Dick Wiener.
They could have gone there.
That was the joke in RoboCop. I think maybe Dick Richards. That's one of the ones you could get away with because there's just something about the way that rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I was going to have a an editor come on the show, and he responded back to me, film editor responded back to me, you only have 13,000 followers and you don't have much viewership. Like, I don't know why I would want to come on your show. And I went, well, okay. Then I just said, bye. Like, fuck you.
What a dick.
So Marilyn.
Platinum
And she's
blonde.
So different with her actual hair. Dark pixie cut.
The whole ensemble, she to me, she's unrecognizable in the rest of the movie.
And she's not in the whole movie. She gets wasted in the first act.
I'm getting Megapolis flashbacks.
Again, she's wired. They show her getting yanked back, and this involves a whole other crew. But it's a movie.
Yeah,
I really
it's
liked when
oversimplified.
they shattered the glass on the fish tank. That looked so cool.
And I got to tell you, Bryan Brown is very charming and funny in this film. I enjoy the crap out of him in this role. And that's why, the second film made money too. Both films made money. They made bank. But the thing is, like I said, the sad story is that the third film went into development hell because the studio went bankrupt, Orion, and got picked up by MGM.
Well, wasn't it originally an indie movie? I'm trying to remember. I looked into this briefly, and it was like it's originally an indie movie.
It was. I'm not sure if they did it on the back end or what, but they produced the film. Orion Pictures did, but they may very well have picked it up on the completion funds.
Yeah, like became the distributor, and then they got involved with FX too. Yeah, at that point we're the distributor.
Now this guy here that's playing the villain, I brought him up earlier. He's so good at playing. He's likable, but then he can just put on the slime ball so quick.
Hey.
I'm kind of impressed in an American movie. They went, yeah, we totally want you to keep your Australian accent going.
Well,
It was great. I love that.
The character is Australian.
Yeah, but if you're doing a Hollywood FX guy, I mean, a lot of movies.
Typically, Hollywood doesn't want them to have an accent. Hollywood wants them to be American. That they did that is really cool. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like Mel Gibson when he was over here, they tried to, it's like, okay, we know your first couple movies you had the accent, but you got to be an American here. Riggs is an American,
and ironically, he is American.
Yeah,
he did have an Australian accent. Thank you. Australian accent.
Yeah, he worked.
He lived there.
He worked to remove it so it could be a bigger movie star.
And it lasted for a while too, because I pointed out it, and we should do it sometime. Do it just as a small group. Watch Lethal Weapon 2, because in the grocery store scene when he's flirting with the Afrikaner chick, you hear his accent. You can hear it.
Hey, Castellar, good to see you again.
Hey, yeah, what's up? We've gotten a third part. Ray Liotta and Rutger Hauer would have been great casting choices. Yeah, and where I stand right now is I think that this film franchise in particular is perfect for rebooting. But they got to do it right. And they have to have a real focus on the kind of effects you can do today. And I think the audience would love something like that.
Well, the real plot would be is that he's going bankrupt because the studios are too fucking cheap and has to do stuff like on the side.
I got to go back one frame. because I love the posters on his wall, as well as because it's right there on the right, but you'll see a better shot of it here in the next frame.
I just love all the crazy shit he has in his place.
Oh yes,
That is
That's awesome.
Fade to Black. I love that fucking movie. Yeah, and he's like Rick Baker in that he has a lot of shit around his house.
I think
Well-
it Tom Savini? Like his house is just full of cool junk everywhere.
Well,
I
he's
mean-
finally set up that museum down there. I think in Texas, isn't it? Where his studio is. Where's his studio? Anybody know?
I think it's in Texas. Yes,
I think it's Texas. Yeah. And you can go in there. It's a functional school. That's Rick Baker's work right there. That's See It's Alive, baby. But you can actually go into the school and just walk around. It's a fucking museum.
Hey, Jibus.
Hey, what's up, monkey?
Phony names for phony people. I mean, this is like almost like a classic like pulp plot. Yeah.
What is?
Oh, we need to get hired on to do this. Oh, it turns out we're the bad guys all along.
Yeah, we're going to create a conspiracy, and the only way to keep a secret is everybody has to die.
Yep.
Oh, did we do Walk the Dog?
No,
Oh, we should.
at least not in
No.
my time. I can't remember doing that.
Yeah, I mean, we're not. You know, Robert De Niro has yet to kill. What's his name? In real life.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I don't even know what that movie is about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, what? Walk the Dog? Oh,
Yeah.
It's something like they are proposing him here. They go for a movie director to direct a fake event to help a candidate to win an election.
President to win re-election.
Yeah.
And as far as I tell, it's one of the few movies. The plot for it basically happened when Clinton, with
Uh-huh.
the Lewinsky scandal, when he
Yep.
bombed a bunch of places, except he actually did bomb them. So
Ended up finding out it was a school.
that's so terrible.
Oh, come on, monkey.
Ugh.
You just want to Gary die choking on his food.
Uh,
Saying thing like that.
there is actually a movie with O.J. Simpson. It's not the moon, but it's the Mars
Oh,
landing.
Yeah, Capricorn 1.
Capricorn
Oh,
1, which we need to do. I love that movie, dude.
And remember,
Ever-growing list.
anytime the government says they wouldn't do that, oh yes, they would.
Monica.
Gary has so many movies planned for us to watch and talk about. He needs to get way over 90 so we can finish that list. I'm fine with that.
Don't worry. We will do to Gary what they do in Futurama. We will put his head in a jar
Yep.
and he will live forever.
He would
Oh,
actually like that. The way his spine is torturing him right now, he wouldn't mind being a head in a jar, I think.
No, the end of his life, Gary will be strapped to that device from Clockwork Orange just so he can continue watching movies. Except he'll do it willingly. Put another in. But Gary, put another.
Good thing I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you haven't seen Clockwork Orange too? Either?
No.
Oh, you're in for a ride.
I'm basically, since I started this job that I'm currently doing, all I'm watching is the stuff that we do in the shows. There's very little that we watch on the side.
You know, I do want to point out something that I believe that That entire scene from Clockwork Orange with the eyes should have the theme song from MST3K playing over it. You know, we'll send him cheesy movies, the worst we can find.
But the monitor is mine.
While we'll monitor his mind. Yeah. I love that theme song.
Yeah, wasn't the Creation of the Robots, wasn't that sci-fi movie where the guy kills everyone because they want to destroy the last forest?
I like
Oh,
the
yeah.
way they.
Silent Running.
Yeah, Silent Running. That was based on Silent Running, which
I like the way they convince him. They just have to say, "Well, we will go with your competition." Is it what? Oh,
some
that's
things
it.
haven't changed in the VFX world since this movie came out. That's one.
This is such
Now
a dirty thing he does here. He takes her robe from her gown.
Well, she gets him
the-
back. It's apparently the thing that they prank each other.
Now, from the point of view of the clerk, he's robbing her. Why doesn't he call the police?
This happens all the time. He's used to it. Or it's LA. No one cared. It's like,
Oh,
He
wait,
did
how
York.
much stolen?
Yeah.
This is New York.
The way he looks at
Oh.
him, though, he's like, "Dude, not cool, man."
Dude, call the police.
No, a good concierge would have waited until he left and then just gone over there and untie her. But
Yeah, but
they
I mean,
prank
he's
each other. It's their thing. So
Yes, the truck. The same type of truck that's in like Terminator 2.
I like that truck.
Yeah, it's your standard packing van. A hand-me-down from Mission Impossible TV series.
now looks nice for the movie, but this was dumb.
Yeah,
I
you
mean-
don't. He would never do that.
The FBI guy could have been blocked him right there and then.
Well, he's not an FBI guy, so
Yes.
He's DEA, right?
No, they are the anti-mafia thing. They are relocation program from mafia.
U.S. Marshal. He's with the
witness
Marshal,
protection.
That's
Yeah.
one. That's the one.
which
It's
would
a
be with the U.S. Marshals program.
Oh yes. For the ones who haven't seen the movie, he's been contracted by the government to fake the death of a mafia witness, which is a mafia head. So the thing is that they can ensure that the other mafia guys think he's dead, so they don't go and kill him before he testifies.
Which sounds fishy to begin with.
Well, it's a government. Of course, it's fishy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, and this
And
is
they-
before Argo plot came out, so
And he's
Unless they're
hesitant,
French
and they drop
then
the
it's
name of the
called
other
fishy.
movie maker, and that makes him say yes. It's, nothing seems legit there.
So, did he use enough gel for the eyebrows, Gary?
He used none.
He
First
didn't
of all,
use any of gel.
There is no
No.
release on this guy's face. And I told Anima, that is actually not an alginate plaster. That is just oatmeal that they're putting on his face that they can wash off later because they're doing it wrong. It would kill that guy the way they were doing it. They completely cover his fucking nose.
Almost.
Yes.
One nostril
Yeah.
stays free, but yeah.
Maybe he was really good at holding his breath.
No, in the next shot, you see both nostrils are open, but they would have put straws in there or something. So yeah.
Yep.
And he kept his eyebrows after they pulled it off, which he wouldn't if it was real. So Gary knows that from experience.
Yep. I ripped hair off of Craig Edwards' face.
At least you did put some release on, just not enough.
The whole thing is to coat it to where it's matted down, because you don't want to get any of the alginate behind the hair. So it's matted down. I didn't. Poor Craig.
Poor Craig indeed. I hope he hit you.
He still talks to me.
Wow. He must have painted
Truly
his
forgave me.
eyebrows.
Oh my God! I hadn't noticed this. We lost Penny. What have we done to Penny?
Oh, nice one, Penny. I love it. We
That
should do-
deserves one.
Yeah, give it one.
Of course.
Well done, Penny.
Let me.
We really ruined her.
Okay, here we go.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges, I'll show you my key.
And in fact, you used his least favorite video. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's true. He hates that one. Shouldn't the new season be out of Vox Machina?
Wasn't I may be completely wrong, but I think it was slated for February or March.
Okay.
But I haven't checked out, to be completely honest.
I'll take a look later, tomorrow, whenever. Not now.
And they
Now, this
pay him.
guy was brought on because he's such a nice guy as an actor. He always seems so grounded with his voice. And of course, he's the most evil of all of the bad guys.
Dude, it's like I forgot the actor's name. The guy who plays Dick Jones in RoboCop.
Yeah, him. Also, Hal Holbrook is another
And-
one.
Before RoboCop, he only had played loving fatherly figures, and he wanted to play a villain so badly.
Hey, my name's Patsy. How are you, my Australian friend?
Ronnie Cox, that's his name.
Yeah.
Hey, we have Sax in our midst.
Hi, Sax.
You want to join us, Zax?
I sent him an invite.
That would be so cool to have him.
Though
Yeah,
to
but
me, the greatest Ronnie Cox moment is Deliverance of the Dueling Banjos.
You have to go there, right? Oh my God.
I think Sax
Next-
is too
next
cool
thing
to
you're going to
stream
talk
that early
about
in the
is
day. He only
Human
does late night.
centipede. Okay, here's for Sax.
Shut the fuck up, Kyle!
Boom, baby.
Love that one.
You know what's really
Yeah,
sad
no.
is Ned Beatty was the only actor that was kind of tormented from being in that movie.
Well, he was?
Yeah, because the whole, squeal like a pig, boy.
Ah,
Oh,
He had to endure jokes from people, getting ribbed by people in public. I always felt bad for him for that.
It's genuinely a horrifying scene. That's probably why people make jokes at it, because otherwise it's like, oh, I need to take a shower.
okay.
So in this scene, we learned that he's got a pacemaker, and they're
Mhm.
using a radio device to set these bullet squibs off.
and they're already so far into this, and he should have told them like a week before that he has a pacemaker. That's something the effects guy needs to know.
And of course,
Well-
Jerry Orbach's like, how do you know that it won't affect it? And he does an immediate test on it. And it didn't kill him.
And then he says, now I'm
She
sure.
was there. I know.
And I got the plot for the remake. He's on the set of Rust, and Al Baldwin tries to blame him.
Oh. You went dark, Shenalski.
See, and by the way, weapons are also a whole different other team. That's your
Yeah.
armorer. You got stunts, different kinds of stunts. So you have different stunt crews. You have one single stunt coordinator, and he coordinates with the effects people who handle the squibs and all that other shit.
Maybe
So,
he just does
that is
multiple.
all just thrown right out the window for this movie, but fuck it, it's still fun.
Oh, here's the Michael Corleone scene. Oh, and by the way, Paul is in the house.
I'm going to tell you, Polly, I fucking love that song. I swear to God, I've told Zach when he plays that. I'm like, I fucking love it. I will even like unmute my mic just so I can sing along with it on the mic.
Yeah. Okay.
That song is so fucking funny.
It's so bad it loops around to becoming awesome.
I know. It's so bad that it's awesome.
It's so bad that it's plain bad to me. I mean,
Oh, my friends. Just
I
the
know
way
his
he
voice.
sings it.
Yes, people are my friends. Oh my God. What is it?
It's concerning how well Gary does the retarded voice.
I can count to potato.
I'm so proud of you.
Sometimes I put my underwear on the outside of my pants to be a superhero. My mom says I should put clean ones on. It looks gross otherwise.
Zach is roasting you now.
Gary would kill him.
That sounds fun, Zach.
Very great.
Oh my God.
If your kid doesn't say they want you dead, are you really a parent?
Yeah, you fucked up if they don't at some point.
Yeah. It's like, I wish you'd die. It's like, I'm raising them right.
My kids never said that, but
Fuck you, Dad.
Zoe looked at me one time and it said, I hope you die. It's the way she looked at me and I went, okay, that's a lot of hate right there.
I see that in front of my inner eye, Zoe giving you that look.
It's nothing like, no, she really gave me a look one time when I made her mad because I wasn't acquiescing with her, letting her get away. The Irish 2-pack are, what he should nickname himself 6-pack liqueur.
Oh my.
Oh.
Oh my God. Why?
That's fucking clever. That's why. I wanted to do a Huey Lewis parody band, and call ourselves Huey Newton and the Ludes.
Hey, Paul, can you join us for 5 minutes at least?
I missed phone booths in movies. That's one of the things that kind of sets with the modern era. There's something about them.
Well, it's necessary for this one because notice it's a little messed up because of the weather. So they drive up and they do a drive-by thinking they got the right guy and they shot the wrong person, all because of the phone booth.
Hey, we should do phone booth.
And he had a hunch, I think, because his instinct when the other guy needed the phone booth was to go around the corner and hide.
Yeah, phone booth is interesting because it's hard to do a film like that. It's a ship in a bottle film because it all takes place right there. You know, it's technically considered a one-act play because you never change location or time.
I really love that movie, man.
I like it too. I really do.
Oh, yeah. Wet Streets.
You said that like it was like some kind of porn that you liked. Oh, yeah. Wet Streets.
We just saw that line where he says places. I know it's raining, but rain never killed anyone or hurt anyone. And I'm like, he's dead. Fuck.
I'm a cinephile, like especially between like Michael Mann and a whole bunch of things. Like when streets are wet in films, it's just awesome.
And this film has one of those great drive-bys in it too. This scene, you know, here they realize, man, that's not our guy. Wrong address. It's like, no, it's the right address. Wrong fucking house. And this is where he knows now that the real nice guy is also in on it.
It is always the nice guy.
Oh yeah, where he's got to run between phone booths. That scene was intense in Dirty Harry, where Scorpio has him running from phone to phone. Like, why'd he shoot him in the sheet? The blood's on the outside. That's not soaked through blood, man. That's blood on the sheet. It's funny. You make a movie about effects and you got bad practical effects like that.
What do you expect? The effects guy is on the run. He's not there to do his job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. They actually did frame an effects man for murder, and it made the entire movie production harder. It's like, maybe we shouldn't have done that. Oh well, just keep making the movie. We'll sort this out later with the police. I think he's in jail. He'll be fine.
So this is another funny part of the film. First thing he does is he just starts going to everybody he knows and cares about.
Yeah.
It basically is like putting a death mark on every single person he knows by doing that. Because up to that point, all they would do is be watching them. That's all they're doing. They would park out their place to see if he's there. And but in this case, you know, he actually gets his woman killed.
It takes him so long to finally start wearing makeup and effects and wigs and shit.
Yeah, we're about halfway through the film when he finally starts doing it.
Yeah.
But I also want to point out here too that, you know, maybe they put real bullets in the blank gun. It's like, well, proper handling of a weapon in film, you check the fucking weapon before you fire it.
He should have checked after the guy.
Absolutely. So that's a mistake in the writing.
And also, he's wondering if it was still blanks or not. Like, you would have noticed shooting that thing if you're firing blanks or not. You special effects guy, you know that.
And again, on top of it, this is not a special effects gun. That's a practical gun, which means it would be handled by an armorer. But you'd still check it.
Yeah. Unless you're Baldwin, then you don't.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
By the way, I love the interviews with his middle brother, and not little, but middle brother. He is so anti-Alec. He doesn't get along with his siblings at all because he's more conservative. And he's done some great interviews lately, and hilarious stories about working on films. Now, this is her. It's like the minute she gets up to open that fucking window, I'm like, she's dead. Like, you know, clear setup. It was cliche. Also, she's too pretty to live.
Yeah, but the sniper should have checked who is going to.
Well, yeah, he's a shitty sniper. Apparently, he just shoots the fucking lady. Oh man, I mistook him, you know, or her for him. It's like, do you need glasses? Were you firing open sight, no scope? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Turns out he's developing glaucoma.
But the sniper is how Dennehy's character begins to work out what's going on, because he learns this guy is a former cop, and then suddenly he's off the books. Yeah, the shots fired. He rolls right off of the bed in his little tidy whities. Hey, Sander. So he's looking to see, he's using her compact mirror to see across the street. Can't see him. And then he hears the sound of someone coming in the building. So he knows the guy is already in the building coming up here to make sure he's dead. But they kept one of those fucking locks. I don't know how the fuck somebody could unlock one of those. But I've never done it, so I don't know. Maybe it can be done.
This is always kind of one of my favorite tropes, though. That they do, like, we do a perfect crime and now we got to cover up, and we cover up in the most overly unplanned way possible, just throwing people at things. It was
And
a
of course, the guy
perfect
can
murder
really
plot.
fight. And Anima points out there that Raleigh throws a punch like Harrison Ford. It's really pussified.
Oh, it's so bad. That was Harrison Ford level bad. His punches.
Part-time.
They knew better in the 80s.
Yeah, I
How
move
to
the
stage
body.
fights.
That's so wise. Altering the crime scene.
He's not being logical. He just lost the woman he was dating.
He didn't put that much attention to that after he left the building.
Yeah, it's almost like he didn't care.
Yeah,
You know, I think that he wasn't into that relationship.
he was looking for a way out.
Not as much as she was, maybe, but he's running for his life now, and there's nothing he can do for her except putting her on a bed to have her in a more dignified position when she gets found.
Tampering with a crime
It's
scene.
the Austin Powers.
Yeah, you wouldn't care about that.
Oh yes, I
that
would.
Situation. You're weird.
My
No,
love,
I just don't want to go to prison.
my one true love, dead. Wait a minute, I'm
No.
single.
They were just,
Oh,
they were just
behave.
they were just dating, and they still had separate places and everything, so the relationship was probably rather new. I don't know.
Godfather 3? Oh, I don't know.
Godfather Tree?
I like Godfather 3, but anybody else do it. So
I know there's a movie called The Godfather Tree.
That's one
Yeah,
of the
it's-
weird things Matinee does, but we still like and tolerate him.
Here you go. This is the brother I'm talking about. Share entire screen. Boom. Boom.
Which Baldwin?
It's Daniel Baldwin is the conservative. There are four brothers. He's the one that's in Harley Davidson and Marlboro Man. I fucking love that movie. We will do that on this channel. I love that fucking
Oh
movie.
yeah, him. I kind of thought it was. I didn't like him going. Oh yeah, all these mass shooters have video games with them. It's like, yes, people have popular media with them. Some of them are going to be killers. Doesn't mean
See,
influence them to do it.
I'm not going to do Highlander 2. I will not do it. I hate that movie so much.
Why?
Not even the Renegade cut.
Not even the Renegade cut. I'm like, I fucking rented that. And I'm like, oh, this is going to finally fix what I. Nope, it did not fix the movie. It's still really bad. Zeist is still in there. You okay, Shinansky?
I never understood why they thought it would be a great idea. You know, we established all these morals. What if they were aliens? And knew each other.
And they need that Greek guy that's does the UFO shows. I'm not saying it's aliens, but it's aliens. Oh yeah, he's a narcissist. Classic narcissist. She's so funny. She's the one that does all the research, and then he keeps just like he kisses her in this scene, fucking on the mouth, kisses her, and she's like, "Oh, that was nice. I like the extra hair on the lip." Her and her gigantic fucking glasses.
Oh, that's how you know it's an 80s movie, when women have glasses like that.
Like Janine from Ghostbusters.
Oh,
Yeah.
Remember Tootsie?
Did you fart? I don't understand what you said.
Tootsie, the movie Tootsie. The
Oh,
Dustin
Tootsie. I
Hoffman
thought you
one.
went Tootsie. I heard you say Tootsie. So, okay, Tootsie. Yeah. Dustin Hoffman, great film. What about it?
Oh, the glasses.
Oh yeah, she wears the giant glasses. That's right.
Sander. What the hell? He knows how what buttons to push. Better than
It's-
Highlander.
No, I just assume he's trolling on that one.
Yeah, of course he is.
I'm just
Or
like-
functionally stupid. Either works. It's about the same, isn't it?
What?
If you're dealing with a troll or an idiot, they're both going to say dumb shit. They'll just trying to
Oh.
rile you up.
Yeah, but I don't think Sander is dumb. I don't think you're equating that. I think he's a pretty funny dude
Yeah.
and knowledgeable.
Yeah. See, we know how to make Peter Venkman fans say happy. See, we threw a Ghostbusters reference in the movie VX. Everybody's happy.
So now, the thing that bugs me throughout this film is, there's the corrupt cop, that's part of this, is that they don't use language that these kinds of guys would be using, which is,
It was weird.
clean up. They would use terminology that doesn't sound like murder. Did you take care of the problem? Did you close the deal?
It's like they wanted to seem cool, and it's just so obvious.
Maybe they had a case where there was too much ambiguity in the conversation, and we're like, "Let's hope this man has a little accident," and they responded, "Yes, let's hope he does." And
Well,
then 5 months later, why haven't you killed him? What? I thought we were hoping we'd have an accident.
I thought you were asking if I cleaned the place up.
Yeah, I cleaned the place up.
I completely misunderstood what you wanted. I thought you meant for me to clean it. No, it's what I think it is they try to dumb down dialogue in films, so everything's written at a fourth grade level, especially in the 80s. Everything was still written at a fourth grade level. So that's what they're doing. They kind of dumb it down for us. And it's not necessary. They finally learned audiences are far more savvy than they gave them credit for.
Except
Or-
Netflix, that now they are proposing to make the characters state what they are doing.
I just think that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard.
You think?
Here at Netflix, we believe you shouldn't even have to watch movies when you watch movies.
And what they're doing it for is for the weirdest reason, for passive viewers that might not be watching the movie but listening.
Mm-hmm.
If only there was some kind of captioning system that explains what people are doing that's already in the fucking movies.
They can put that in the closed captioning. It absolutely can. It's in there because I've listened to some of the closed captioning where
Well,
they go,
if you're not watching
he
the movie,
puts the gun away. You'll hear a voice, a disconnected voice from the film. Character puts gun away. You'll hear that.
Yeah.
It's like really weird. Weird. I love these Silvos. Had no idea how fucking big they were until she's walking with one. I was like, God damn, that thing's as big as she is.
Probably one of the best VFX tricks of all time. Just get something that's smaller, that's supposed to be bigger, but do it in a way where it looks like it's further out.
Ooh, I love the thing that.
Forced
about to pull
perspective.
off.
Yeah, you're talking about forced
Yeah.
perspective. Yeah. Now that's Tom Noonan, by the way.
Yep.
That dude, I always felt bad for him. He just has a look, and he got typecast as playing bad guys. But look at the guy. He's like a fucking balding, fucking lurch-looking motherfucker. And yes, he's a great fucking actor. But Jesus Christ, of course you're going to get typecast.
With a face like that, yeah.
All he's lacking is his yellow parka and his hat.
Exactly.
Oh,
Last Action Hero.
Yep.
And also he was Francis Dollarhide in Manhunter. which I still consider to be the better version of that story. I liked what was it? You're the Dragon. What was it called?
Red Dragon.
Red Dragon. I like the movie. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer Manhunter. I think Michael Mann did a better job.
Yeah, that between that and the Hannibal season 3, like both do a pretty good job with it.
Oh my god, I love the show Hannibal so fucking much.
Good one, Sander. No, now it's called consent perspective.
No. They changed it to Weinstein perspective.
Oh,
Oh, that is a great line, dude. You owe me all. That's from Red Dragon. Dollarhide says that to that reporter. Can you tell that I'm a fan?
No.
Yep. I mean, who doesn't want to see what's the actor's name? Stripped naked and screaming and crying. It's his best acting.
Well, you got two actors who have played Dollarhide. You've got Tom Noonan, who's the tall, fucking monstrous agent, and then you had Ralph Fiennes play him. And I think both of them did a fantastic job. I love this with this fucking monster. Yeah, if we find anything, then we'll call for a warrant.
Well, he's gonna get a nice lawsuit.
Oh, I think Hoffman. God, I miss that guy. What a great actor.
Yeah.
I loved him in that movie.
Yep. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
I can't tell these from the real thing. Oh my God.
I like how he says maybe he got tired of make believe and wanted a taste of the real thing. That's so fucked up.
I love how Dennehy's character sort of pieces everything together.
He's so good at playing this cop.
Yeah.
Well, they're lying to him, and he's just playing dumb. So it's like, oh yeah, of course that's what happened. Not quite Columbo level, but
By the way, I can't remember the name of the film, but he played Truman Capote, Philip Seymour Hoffman, and that was really good.
Capote.
Infamous or Capote?
Capote.
I think it was Capote, and I just thought it was so good. His fucking voice, what he did was just really fucking good. Because Capote had the weirdest speaking voice.
Yeah, only time I ever saw him on film was Murder by Death.
Murder by Death he's the guy at the end of the table, the host of the
That's
evening.
a cool title of movie.
Oh, it's a joke. It's Paul Simon, the guy who wrote The Odd Couple and all this shit. He wrote that. He also wrote the it's a sidequel film called The Cheap Detective, where Peter Falk and Elaine Brennan play the same characters, but they have different names. But it's the same characters.
We're being rated. Guess
Oh my God.
Well, hopefully we'll see Mephisto.
Yes.
Hi, Meth Raiders.
I invited his buddy too, so hopefully both
I
of them
hope
will
they
show up.
come. That would be cool.
And here he goes again with her, and she's liking it.
Oh, she's into him.
Absolutely.
See, everything with age, you could have hair like that and still be an attractive woman. Now,
That's the 80s. Are you kidding? They all had hair like that.
Now, I don't think he had a
God,
mustache in
Paulie.
the sequel, did he? I think he shaved that off.
I can't remember.
But we got to do the sequel because I do love the sequel, despite the stupid robot thing, the animatronics.
Mm.
It's just like, you couldn't do that then.
You already threatened me with doing the sequel too. So
The
yeah,
the
we'll play
robot
it.
man.
It identifies as human. So
By the way, it's very important to notice that she does have a dashboard Jesus on top of her monitor.
Really, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, it's what it is down in the bottom of the screen.
Oh, okay.
That's a dashboard Jesus. Normally, you find those in cars. It's the sacred, the Sacre-Cœur, the one hand on the heart and the fingers held up, the two main fingers.
That's called Sacré-Cœur. Okay. I've seen it. I didn't know it had a specific name.
Yes.
Yeah, it's it's what E.T. stole its idea from, that he has the glowing heart, and it's because he has the glowing heart. Jesus does. So Brian Dennehy was in bestseller, good film, James Woods. I
Let's
love that
see.
movie. No, I like that movie a lot.
But was the movie a bestseller?
I don't think so, but it was a good independent film.
I'm trying to remember, was this movie X around the time Brian Dennehy started to become big? I'm
Yeah,
trying to
'cause
remember.
He did this film, then he did Silverado. His career slowly built through the 80s. By the 90s, he's all over the place. Legal Eagles, yeah. I remember that film too. By the way, hi, Chef's Kiss. Chef's Kiss, plural?
No, I think it
Is
lacks the
that
apostrophe.
plural or is that possessive? There's no apostrophe, so I never know.
Everybody knows what Chef's Kiss means. I like that name.
Yeah, but he could be they could be making a
That's what that means.
word play.
Magnifique.
Really? I haven't seen that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Dark.
Ugh.
It's dark.
Do not send in the clowns.
Send in the clowns. No. I said don't. They're already here.
No!
Yeah, a bit spilled on the thumb.
Hey, Mev,
Hey, Mep.
you had a link. You can jump in.
My fist tall.
You and your buddy jump in.
If ever we get a house that has a crawl space, I want that thing to be filled up with concrete.
Yeah, I remember when Travis, when I was living with Travis and John and Chance, and he showed me. He says he wanted to show me with the crawl space under my part of the house. He says, "Yeah, you can get underneath there." And I went, "What do you mean, you?" I'm like, "I'm not going under there." He goes,
Fuck
"Well,
no.
I'm not going to go there." He goes, "I'm like, you do it for a fucking living. It's what you do." So he did. He crawled. I'm like, I'm not fucking going under. I'll die before I
Yeah.
go under there.
But
You
crawls.
would get stuck probably. These spaces are narrow, but I don't know. Spider paradise. Hard
Well,
to-
yeah, because people, if people are never in an area, surprise, other things decide they're going to live there.
I'm curious. Hold on a second. Something. First of all, he does a proper weapon check here because he puts the mag in, loads it, and then he checks it. But who are those fucking photos? Now that's J. Edgar Hoover in the front. I just hit pause and it still skipped ahead.
What photo? Oh, okay.
Right there. Who's the like? What a weird way to arrange your photos. Like one blocking the other one.
Yeah, that's
It was
weird.
probably just something they bought and put together real quick.
But that's J. Edgar Hoover in the front.
Yeah, and what kind of weird?
I don't know
has
who
a-
that is in the
a
back.
model. of the special.
Normally you'd have like the
Maybe
president.
Woodrow
or-
Wilson.
It's just really weird that they did that.
Dude, was Nixon in the back photo?
That wasn't Nixon, no.
Yeah.
Why would they have his photo there?
But it was an older photo, but it was not Nixon.
Oh, shut up, Cat.
Yeah, they always change the photos in Catch 22. Payphones again, huge part of this. And he does a cool little trick where he ties two phones in a 69, tapes them together.
Mm.
So he can call the one phone and call through the other phone. Really clever. And this is where, we're over the halfway point where he starts using makeup to hide who he is.
Finally, yeah. Took him so long.
Well, applying makeup takes some time, so.
He
It
is
was,
hiding. He has
It was,
to.
it was Gary Sinise's Dracula, the photo.
If this had been made just like a decade or two earlier, he could have used blackface to escape.
Was that the K car? I think that was the K car.
The what?
It was a popular, I think Plymouth made it. That or Chrysler. The K car. It was used by government all the time. Because it's cheap as shit.
It's also shit as a car.
It's a crap car.
I gotta wonder, did they shoot all these scenes with them together in like one day?
Probably. You can probably
Yeah.
bet on that. So what's really cool about what they just discovered is that these two guys have the same fucking social security number. It's a 543 number, as I recall, which would put them in
It's not the same,
2,
but it's like
3.
following numbers. And they were born 3 years apart. So how can this be?
I think it'd be
Oh.
one of the panhandle states down south. Because like I'm from Virginia and ours start with a 2.
Yeah, but what gives away the fake in this is that they are following numbers, but their births are 3 years apart, if I remember that correctly. So
Yes.
that can't be. That's just not possible. Has to be fake.
And then they find the numbers also are funky with the other guys too. And that's when he knows this is all bullshit. And here he is locking eyes with her again. And look at that smile. She's like, oh, I like him. I hope he comes back.
I hope he reboots my hard drive.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Look, man, I don't know if I can give credit to that interrogation method. Because maybe, oops, I think I broke the witness' neck.
So I do like what they do. They put him in the trunk and they start ramming him into cars.
Yeah, but
Oh, yeah.
dude, you can kill the guy that way.
Sure. I think he was okay with that. I think he was
Yeah.
all right
Yeah.
with that.
No, because you
No.
don't have any info yet.
Yeah, but no fucking big loss if he dies,
Hey, man, you can't make an omelet without breaking a few eggs.
right?
I mean,
Or
you
smashing a
can,
few cars.
you can use a crowbar. He has kneecaps and shit, and he can still talk.
I think he knows what he's doing, how hard he can smash the car into stuff.
Yeah,
without
because
actually-
remember, he's not just an effects guy, he's a stunt expert
Yep. He
for
does
some
both.
reason in a world.
That's not
This
the-
man is every department but the cameraman and the actor and the scriptwriter and the director.
But now he's kind of the actor too, slipping into different characters to be in disguise. He's everything.
I don't know.
Except the
a
camera.
lot of
Crowbar
your
knees.
a lot of your special effects guys are actually good actors. I mean, you look at Rick Baker, and he's been behind the makeup on a lot of monsters, including Kong.
Especially gone.
I mean, that's not an interrogation method you've seen in any other thing else. Even Jack Bauer never did that.
Yeah. Fucking putting you inside a trunk and banging the trunk against other cars at high speeds. Yeah.
Effective. I mean,
You might kill him. I'm okay with that.
All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you in the trunk, then slam the trunk, then I'm gonna drive around, bashing the car and things till you talk or die.
There are a lot of actors that, when they were older, became very well-known actors that started out as stuntmen, including John Wayne.
Or directors. I mean, the
Burt
John Wick
Reynolds.
guy.
Yeah, you brought another one up, Tom. Excellent. Excellent. Burt Reynolds was a stuntman first. Tom is good in anything he's in. He cracks me up.
Oh yeah,
Dust Till Dawn is his best, though. I agree.
I knew him as a guy on screen before I found out he was a FX guy, because he'd be in a bunch of shit.
This is a good scene. This is where he confronts that corrupt cop. I love when he grabs him by the tie and pulls him across the
he's
desk.
so violent, asking where these papers are. Like, where are you hiding them? And then he's like, they're on the desk.
And just to let you know, fucking
at least his face
Dennehy
thank you
looks
when
like a
he's-
Sasquatch against him.
Oh,
So he
yeah.
just walks in
Dennehy
and just,
was a
I'm done.
man.
Go ahead.
Dennehy was a big guy. He was
Yeah, he was.
a very big guy.
It was almost like an adult walking into a child's desk area. It's what it looks like when he walks in his office. Everything is kid size around him. Yep.
Yep. And Land of the Dead, they bring that character back as a zombie briefly.
Oh, this is at the impound where he wants to get his equipment, his truck. And he's told her to go take these smoke bombs. She uses the ones that explode. And she's like, got the job done. And he does her dirty too, but it's to save her.
Yeah.
Because he says, oh man, tire, check the tire. And she gets out of the vehicle and he drives off without her.
She's so mad at him when he does that, but he has to give her a chance to get out of this.
Yeah, because he screws up here. Orbach's character gets on the phone and fucking Dennehy hears him.
I'm not gonna go to the police. I'm gonna go to you. Click.
He has these flashbacks where she tells him just before she gets shot that it's a good thing to go to the police because she believes him, so they will too. And he keeps reliving that memory. So sad. He did care about her. I just don't think they were far into that relationship.
One thing I know he cared for was how she felt on his pecker.
Oh my God.
Anima, you're allowed to hit Gary for me. Just reminding you.
Oh, don't
This
worry.
guy usually does.
I have a list of how many times I have to hit him when I finally get the chance to again.
It's big enough. Anima has an Excel document, and it's over 3 megs already.
Yeah, I'll hit you with so many left you're going to beg for a ride.
Right. Trying to see that moment. I was trying to pause it. There he is. This guy is in so many fucking movies back in the from the late 70s on through the 90s, always playing comic relief characters. And he's Dennehy's partner in this.
Now, we need to have a truck that is subtle. It's not going to stand out at all.
Yeah. Not having the letters FX written
in rainbow.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's that
with 2 or
product's
3
legal and it's the only thing they have, so shut up. You don't have anything else. It's what makes you think of MacGyver all the time, is that he works with what he has, and sometimes it's brilliant things he used for effects in movies, and sometimes it's just improvisation with what is in that apartment or house where he is, with the mirror.
I don't know.
the
I
shit.
would have
It's so cool.
printed two fake posters and plastered it over the letters FX.
By the way,
You
I am
think
a
they have
huge
time?
fan of the Gorillas. I love their music.
The really hilarious part is Clint Eastwood is, I forget what instrumentation it is, but it's one of those just basic samplers.
Yep.
They managed to turn that into a just popular song, which is hilarious.
Yeah, there it is. Where he's getting after her for using the big ones. Classic 80s cop car.
Do we have fruit stands? We gotta have a fruit stand if it's a car chase.
They have to. And for some reason, he has to end up on like a dock, a shipping dock.
And then one car goes flying off the dock for some reason.
Yeah. I put that in Vindicator. I drew it too. There's a scene in there with a dock. But there are actually docks. That looks like some ugly sex doll over there.
What the ultimate joke you could do with a car chase is they just like go into a fruit stand convention and there's literally nothing but fruit stands around and they don't hit any of them.
Huh.
Or
There we
was it
are.
Wayne's World?
That's the loading docks. That's the loading docks.
Wayne's World 2 had one of the best ones. They established early on. It's like, yeah, we're just carrying this plane of glass around, and here's a fruit stand and everything else. And at the end of the movie, Wayne runs through the plane of glass and hits the fruit stand. And they go, gentlemen, our work here is done.
Here we go.
Oh, yeah. That's what you pay. That's why you go to the movies. Stack up boxes. Write them into boxes.
There you go, man. Classic 80s chase scene. Actually, 70s and 80s.
I don't like chase scenes. I'm the boring.
I do.
Why?
If they're done well.
Yeah.
It's their derivative. It's always the same shit. It's cheap adrenaline shot.
It's not cheap. You know,
Yeah,
back
like-
then they had to use real vehicles. Now, Fast and the Furious, I could see making an argument for.
You go back to the mother of all chase movies, the film that changed, that created the genre is Bullet. And they did something nobody had ever done before by attaching the cameras to the cars. It's an art form.
Yeah, can you imagine what it was like the first time they saw the dailies? It's like, do it again.
Yeah, I love this. She's strapped in back there in the back of the vehicle, throwing shit out at this cop. Finally, she throws out this dummy. He stops him because he thinks it's an old lady. Then a squad car comes up, hits him from behind, and he goes over the top of the dummy.
Yeah, and they can see,
cool.
and they can. He sees it's a dummy. He sees the van going on, and he doesn't get on his car again and continue the pursuit. He just stands there cursing. What the hell?
This is two people who have worked on so many movies together, because all he does is go, do you remember this and that? And she's like, yeah, and knows immediately what to do. And he tells her, yeah, when I turn left, you go. And she's like, gotcha. It's awesome.
Okay, here he goes. This is when he tricks her. He says, something's wrong back there. Can you take a look? She gets out. And then he leaves her. Because he knows he's got to go do what he's got to do alone. He doesn't want her implicated.
He wouldn't be alive without her, though, at this point. So it's kind of ungrateful.
She calls him an asshole, though.
Like, if they don't kill you, I will.
Yeah, if they don't kill you, I will.
I love that.
I would love to see a more realistic scene between a detective and his captain. That there's no yelling. It's just calmly, I'm sorry, you got to turn your back. It's very bureaucratic the way they work. It's because of the 70s, man. We started seeing the yelling police chief or captain. Like on Starsky and Hutch, the guy looked like he was having a stroke every time he yelled at him on the show.
That trope pretty much jumped the shark with Last Action Hero.
Yeah, they totally made fun of it in that. I love that.
Yeah, when steam's literally coming out of his ears.
Yeah.
What?
Hammer did it too. Yeah, they made fun of it on that show too.
Yeah.
I didn't watch Hunter. I never watched that show. Did they have a yelling captain on that one too?
Dude, I don't remember.
I remember he carried a Magnum like pistol, so he was a badass.
The only one where it was actually kind of appropriate was Beverly Hills Cop, because basically Axel kept causing so much fucking problems for his chief.
Was that in the 70s? I thought that was the 60s. Check on that one.
No, it's like early 70s, I think.
Wasn't it
trying to
early
remember.
70s? For some reason, I remember it was like 1967 or some shit.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch. Like,
it was 73. I'll be damned.
Yep, 73.
And then they got this new one that looks really lame-o. They got Bianca Pullman. She was supposed to be the new Bond.
what was it? I've heard good things
Lashana
about
Lynch,
Ripley.
Lashana Lynch is her name. She was supposed to be the new Bond, and it blew up in their face. What's that?
Oh, I've heard good things about the new Ripley adaptation.
Oh, the talented Mr. Ripley?
Yeah, that character, like they spend a lot of time after he's killed the people dealing with him covering it up. Because, surprise, it's hard to hide a body.
I think it was Ripley's Game. It was like a third or fourth book in the series. And they made it with John Malkovich. It was really good. Very subdued performance.
Oh, yeah, it stars the guy who was Moriarty in the Sherlock series. Like, was it Adam Scott or something like that? He's a good actor.
I'm going to look it up real quick.
Oh, it's in black and white, which you might appreciate also.
Ripley's Game. Yeah, that was the name of it. John Malkovich. It had Dougray Scott. Ray Winstone is in it. Lena Headey was in it. And of course, Malkovich plays Ripley in it. It's a very good movie. Shot on a very small budget. Yeah, I checked Chef's Kiss. Thanks. For some reason, I felt like that was like 67, but 73, man.
Oh, yeah.
I like this scene where he electrocutes the guy. He's actually killing these people, by the way.
By booby trapping their own house. It's brilliant.
Yeah, other 80s cliche I love. The villains live in some type of giant mansion that they could
never live in a
afford.
ranch-style single-level home. It's always a mansion.
Always a mansion. Think of Abigail.
It's
How cool
like,
was that?
why
house?
do you live in such a shitty house? I'm frugal. The frugal villain.
His downfall is he was just a little too cheap on the hitman he hired. Like, this shit ain't worth 20 thou. Walks out the door.
I do like the fact that when it really gets down to it, this guy is driven purely by greed. The main villain, the senior agent.
Yeah, he's doing this for a cut of 15 millions. I think
And
he
now
has
he
more
sees
than
his
15
opportunity to
million.
get all of it. Because when Jerry Orbach gets shocked at the window, it discharges his fucking pacemaker. And he's collapsing. He's dying. He's, you got to help me. He goes, give me the key first. It's like, don't ever give something to somebody when they say it that way, because you know you're not going to get yours.
Toss me the idol. I toss you the whip.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Indiana Jones. Like, what are you doing? He still doesn't know the house or what room we're in. Probably the one with all the lights on. Just saying. There's Tom Noonan. See what I'm talking about? He's so odd looking that, like, how did he expect to be like cast as normal people?
You can't.
Hollywood doesn't think that way. They think in types.
Yeah.
You
Which
know,
is
if
why
you
nowadays so many actors are cast for their looks and not their skills.
Specifically their looks. You know, they look
Yeah.
at like a certain type. They're looking for types. That hits typecasting.
Yep.
Yeah.
What I would
That's what I
be
was talking about earlier,
hilarious.
Tom, is that Noonan got cast as Dollarhide in Manhunter, and he felt that it had really damaged him. But the fact is, it's his fucking look that damaged him. He has a very odd look. And so he gets cast as characters like this. That's it. That's your fucking lot in life. Live with it. Stop getting mad at other people.
You know what?
God made him look weird, or his mom's vagina did. I don't know.
I'd love there to be a movie that's about the trial the main character goes into after one of these movies. Because could you imagine that? Yes, so you then electrocuted this man. Yeah, he's a bad guy.
Yeah, it's okay.
And he's a bad guy. He had a pacemaker. How convenient, huh?
Yeah, that wasn't foreshadowed at all.
No.
It was just a shadow like, at that point.
I'm going to break out me some Mountain Dew.
Indescript White House, which if the bad guys actually can afford, why do they need money in the first place?
Yeah, Matt Smith looks almost normal. Almost. So he has a giant forehead and a long face and a pointy chin. But I thought he was really enjoyable as Doctor Who. I'm not a big fan of him. My daughter is, because technically David and Matt are kind of her doctor, because she saw the last part of, she became a fan with David Tennant, but most of the stuff she watched was with Matt. And so she just loves fucking Matt Smith.
I liked him as an actor until we saw his naked ass all the time in House of the
Oh
Dragon.
God, yeah.
That was not needed.
Oh, it's like I would rather look at what's her name that played Ripley in Alien. I'd rather look at her ass. She's got a
She
horrible
doesn't
ass.
have one. She doesn't have an ass.
That was in one of my reviews once. I said the scariest thing in Alien is Ripley's ass, or lack thereof. Or lack thereof. You got to wait for the punchlines. I don't deliver them on your time. I deliver them on mine.
Fuck you.
See, that's the problem with House of the Dragon. Too much of Matt Smith's ass, not enough lesbian sex. They got the lesbian sex to man's ass.
Yeah, but their idea of lesbian
and
sex
showed his kids
is two ugly lesbians. It's like
yeah.
It's like, oh. I want like Hollywood porn lesbians. There it is.
Yeah, lipstick lesbian. Let's bring back
And I
lipstick
can't remember how
lesbians.
that's
Everybody.
done, but it's like the it's set up to where the current travels across glass. It's like a layer of electricity over the glass, and he touched it, and it set off his fucking pacemaker, and he's dead. And he gave the cross that had the key in it that will get him to all that money in Switzerland. And you know the funny part of this film? They could have shot that anywhere. They didn't have to go to Switzerland. They went to Geneva. They shot in Geneva.
They had too much money.
It's
I
not a
didn't think
huge
this was a
budget
big
film.
budget movie.
It's not. It's a low budget film.
Let
But
me
they,
tell you something. Somebody in the production wanted to go to Geneva.
Yeah,
You
it's like
know it.
Switzerland is so expensive too.
they went with a skeleton crew to Geneva and probably handheld the fucking camera. This is a great
Yeah.
moment because he sets the gun down, but I think they took too long. He should have been quicker when he set it down. He should have had him do an action like slump a little bit and then walk away from the gun to go to the door. And then he picks it up and he's fucking realizes there's super glue on the fucking gun.
And then he shoves him out the door.
I mean,
enjoyed that scene.
that would be also great. Just a great like twist in a movie to do. A guy just super glues the trigger so it can't keep being pulled. It's like, oh, what you doing? Oh, doesn't work right. Mine does. Boom.
Oh, Tom, it's my job to point out flat asses.
Gary
she
is the
sold
official
that.
backdoor inspector.
Yeah, Gary's all about the butt.
Martin, you said something too.
Yeah, the Sigourney eventually got that problem solved. The flat ass.
How'd she get it dealt with? She get injections? Get the
No,
little...
I suppose he used the old method of squatting.
Shoves him out the door. I love this. Shoves him out the fucking door. He goes, it's a mistake. It's not loaded. And they just fucking shoot him.
Oh, he knows he's dead the moment he's being shoved out the door because he can't drop it. You hear the police all the time.
Oh no,
Drop
Gary's
your weapons and
recharging.
Come out of the house.
Oh man, I'm just getting hot.
It's like
It's my vape. I'm vaping. I think
you just gunned down a man who wasn't actually armed. Congratulations.
he should have.
We
armed
appreciate
himself.
your murder.
He's gonna decorate his bar with my dead friend. Sorry. More sacred of the bush that hides in Ripley's panties at the end of Alien. Yeah. She's very 70s in that movie. Very 70s.
Yep.
Back when I was a kid, man, like for some reason, some guys have a huge turn on a big bush. You're not there. Some guys can turn, man, I fucking love a big bush. I'm like, really?
Yep. There's a reason Merkins were a thing.
I'm just reminded of my college roommate walking out one time. We had a bad night, a really bad night with these girls. And he came walking out of the bedroom going, oh. Like that, digging on his tongue. I'm like,
did he just like hawk up a hairball?
Yeah, that's what he's acting like. He's like, as he walked out, and she stormed out of the apartment, like just pissed. And I'm like, everything okay? He goes, yeah, I got a hair stuck somewhere. That was Tom.
So gross.
He didn't. He was just fucking around. I love this. He's in the body bag, and finally you get a payoff for that wrist scene at the very beginning of the film, where he puts a cigarette on his fake wrist. He's got a fake neck and fake wrist to block his pulse.
Oh.
Now in real life, what would have sucked is they probably would have done CPR on him.
Oh yeah, that would be a great joke.
Then he would have been really.
Oh, come back to life! Oh, stop hitting me! Stop hitting me!
No, you do CPR on a beating heart, you can kill the guy.
Yep. Because
It's
if the
not
heart's
about breaking
expanding
the
when you
ribs.
compress, you can actually pop it like a
Pop it,
fucking
yeah.
balloon.
Wow, nice.
And what he doesn't know is Dennehy's way ahead of him.
And that is why then he is so content with being fired. He doesn't care because
There
he
he
knows
is.
the price.
Look at that look on his face. He puts a gun up to his head. You and me, we need to talk. And then you see him, they're in fucking Geneva. That's
Man,
his scene.
it's almost like in the Kelly's Heroes when there are 64 million marks, and what are you going to do? Boom! And the cannon
Yeah,
fires.
the only time that German actor's eyes open up at all, because he's always squinty eyed, they open fully wide when he says, "How much is in that bank?" And then boom, he blows it with the tank. This is a great scene. I love the ending of this. But watching this movie, I couldn't figure out where are they going to go with this plot, you know?
They have $50 million and they are in Europe. They're going wherever
He's
they
retired.
want.
Technically, both of them are retired at this point.
Yeah.
You know?
It would have been hilarious if they just ended up funding a movie and it bombed terribly. And that's what has to push them back out. It's like you told me the sequel to Gladiator was going to be a sure thing. It was.
God damn it, Shinaski, you have a malevolent mind.
Fucking Ridley Scott. Yay. We got away with murder.
I wanted
and
to go back
stealing
to
money.
Well, he tells him, "You'll never have to put that shit on your face again." And he tells him, "Yeah, that's hard."
And of course, that's not true.
A job. Well, I guess he's trying out shit on himself before doing it to the actors. All he tells us by saying that is that he will continue making movies.
Well, he says,
That's what he
I'm not
does.
sure. I like doing this.
Yeah.
I can now film my own film. It's called
I've always believed-
Megaopolis.
It is where they get the Harry Palm thing from.
Ugh.
But I don't know, Sander. You could be right on that. But it is where Harry Palms come from. I wonder if audiences accepted Bryan Brown as a leading man. They embraced Mel Gibson. Bryan he just never took off. Good actor, though. He just never took off. He got those two movies, and then he was in Cocktail. That was it, really, for him.
That was Tom Cruise, right?
Tom Cruise with Bryan Brown, yeah.
Mm.
But then again, Bryan Brown got Rachel Ward as a wife out of the deal. So there, it's an even trade.
Yeah, it's like if you end up with Rebecca Romaine, you won. Congratulations. Doesn't matter where your career goes.
Good on you, mate. Good on you.
Yeah. Good on you. Like whoever gets Sydney Sweeney, even if they're a failed actor, like, did they really lose?
Oh yeah, Sydney. Yeah, she's. I don't know what it is. There's other girls that are kind of like her in Hollywood that are like, "Fuck you, pent up bitches. We like being feminine, and we're not going to feel bad about it."
It's refreshing. It's like she's appealing to men and women.
She's almost like Mountain Dew or Sprite. Very refreshing.
Yep.
Coughlin's Law. Okay, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. I've never heard that one.
Coughlin? Who the hell's Coughlin?
I'm aware of the different razors out there. Occam's and all that. Occam's, which is Occam's is whatever is almost like Murphy's Law. It's like don't attribute to
no, that's Hamlin's.
That's
the
Hamlin's.
Simplest explanations usually the
simplest
best.
is whatever's left is the answer.
Well, in reality, the explanation in which, or the path in which you have to make a lesser number of assumptions.
Right. Sure. In Conan Doyle's, he says that once you've basically pushed everything away, whatever's left is the answer. No matter how unbelievable it may seem.
That would be like Sherlock's Law.
It should be, but it came out before him.
Mike,
Okay.
why are you not here? Don't tell me that you're.
I'm doing stuff.
He only comes when I drag him in by telling him in Arnold to do it and go on the show.
Dude, get on here. What's wrong with you, Mike? You
Yeah, what's
Screw
wrong
your
with you?
freedoms,
Why
Mike.
quit being a girly man? Get on here. That's a film I do want to do. I love the movie Sharky's Machine. That was one of my favorite Burt Reynolds films from the 80s.
Oh, goggling slow is an expression that Raleigh uses. Apparently, I don't
What does he
have
say?
recollection of it. Goggling slow.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't remember him saying that.
Oh, I think
Chef's
you're
kiss.
fucking looking it up. Jesus Christ.
Chef's Kiss knows, and he's not telling us. Stop torturing us, Chef's Kiss.
I'll just fucking look it up. I thought Martin was doing that. Never tell tales about a woman. No matter how far away she is, she will hear you. That's Coglin's law.
Okay.
I got a couple, Leon. I mean, one of the ones that I thought was fun was that never frame a guilty man. You have a tendency to make them innocent.
What?
Well, you
Never
find
frame
that
a guilty
true.
man. You have a tendency to make them innocent. In other words, by like the actual evidence of their guilt is there, and you then assuring their guilt, i.e., tampering to make sure that they will get guilty, that gives them an out.
You look what happened with the O.J. Simpson trial.
Yeah, O.J. Simpson was a prime example of that. It's where he first thought of that phrase, is that you don't frame a guilty man.
You didn't have to. We know he did it, but and he got away with it. But eventually, he did go to prison for something else. But a lot of people are pretty happy that he did because he deserved it.
Well, they did get him silver court, so
Okay, we have the explanation here. Go, somebody who really speaks.
Yeah, I just read it to you from medium.com. Coglin's law.
Martin's not paying attention. Don't worry.
Yeah, and you caused some confusion here, Chef's Kiss. Well done. Good job. We like that.
Yep.
Well, look, this everybody knows. Well, this is a clip of OJ right here. So he's guilty.
What's the matter? You scared? Noticeably? I'll say. Now stand back. I gotta practice my stabbing. Ha ha! No, please help!
If you never saw it, look up the Mad TV parody of the O.J. Simpson video. Put the bloopers for it. It's hilarious. Because OJ had that video that came out after his trial where he was going over the evidence, saying, "How could I do this? How could I do that?" They just.
My favorite parody of the gloves don't fit was the Chewbacca defense.
Oh yeah, the supposed Jerry. This is Chewbacca. Chewbacca Zoe lives on Endor. Think about it. That does not make sense. Why 8-foot tall Wookiee live on Endor with a bunch of Ewoks? That does not. And then the guy's head just explodes.
Ryan was in Cocktail. His character was Coughlin. Okay, please forget all this now. Too bad, Chef's Kiss. You started this shit.
And we
well
up your
done.
Comments, so it shall never be forgotten. That's how things work here.
Casey Anthony absolutely got away with murder. And she made her parents look guilty somehow. God, what a scumbag.
Yep. One of the hardest things to accept in this world is that sometimes bad people get away with it.
No, yeah, man.
Way too often.
We have seen it way too often in my lifetime. Because I'm older than you fuckers. I remember I was working that afternoon at a nursing home in Mattoon. And I sat down with this old lady during her lunch. And I watched the end of that trial. And I'm like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And I went back to fucking wiping shit off old people. I'm like,
Yep.
some fucking people, man. That had been me, I'd be rotting in a prison.
It's called You Have Morals and a Conscience. Very thin morals and a very big old conscience, but there's still one there.
It's like, I think the most horrifying moment for me was when Mr. Cody, my dad's best friend, was sitting there talking to me. I think I was 9 or 10. And he's explained to me that that molecules of our body aren't actually connected, and that everything in the universe isn't actually connected, and that at some point, if there was something to defy gravity and all of that, we would just fly apart. And I went home and I was traumatized by that.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
That's a fucked up
I'm
thing
like,
to say to them.
at any moment I could fly apart, just in pieces. And I'm like, I need to put more clothes, but they're not solid either. My clothes aren't solid. I was so freaked out by that as a kid. Like, why would you tell a 9 or 10-year-old kid that? Jesus Christ.
You would have to break the
Why
strong
couldn't you be
force.
like other Catholics and molest me, for God's sakes?
Jesus, you were squeamish, boy.
Gary, because you were never pretty enough to be molested. That's the
You know
problem.
what? I made that joke, so you don't get to steal the joke from me on that one. Because I said to Chris Lindsay, I'm like, so what are we, ugly? Why we
Wait. There's confusion here. You made that joke, Gary. Shinatsky's just stating facts.
Oh,
True.
okay. Haha,
Oh.
Martin.
So what was it? Actually, Chris Morris had his whole Brass Eye, which was a news parody series, and one of the ones they had, and I'm not making this up either, Simon Pegg played a pedophile. And the whole thing is like, at one point he's confronting him with his kid and going, it's like, you want to have sex with my son? It's like, no, I don't. What? Why not? I don't fancy him. And then he's like, confused as to what to say, because like,
Oh
well,
my God,
that's good.
so dark, but it's funny as shit, but that's messed up. Oh my God.
Yeah, Brass Eye. It's a great satire of the news media in the 90s in Britain.
Yeah, this I do remember. Sexual harassment panda was so fucking funny.
Sexual harassment panda. Yeah.
the song, the dance. So I remember I had to go to HR with the company I was with, had us go in for a meeting about sexual harassment. And my joke made some of the guys laugh, but none of the women laughed when I said, so is this where we learn how to do it right?
I had one of them there. One parody I always wanted to do.
Didn't laugh at that.
One parody I've always wanted to do was the Sean Connery Center for Domestic Abuse.
What?
Yeah, and it was entirely based on that Barbara Walters interview. He was talking about the way you hit a woman.
Sometimes you
So it
just
was
gotta
about
give a woman a good schmacking.
Yep. So it was all about him having his system and varying degrees of when it is or isn't okay to strike your partner and how you're supposed to go about do it. So it's always, remember, open fist, never closed. The open fist is the fist of love. The closed fist is the fist of madness. Always the open fist, never
We
closed.
already established the rules for that. I get to smack the shit out of Gary whenever I want to.
Yes, but remember, do it with an open fist.
Oh yeah, always. Ask him.
Because, you know, he came from a culture where that was like normal, that you would take a rod to your wife the same as you would a misbehaving child. It's a weird culture, but that is their culture.
As long as it wasn't thicker than your thumb or something like
that.
Yeah.
Or as they said in Boondock Saints, maybe with you they should have gone with the rule of wrist. So, because that's where the term rule of thumb supposedly came from, is you couldn't smack a woman with a stick any larger around than your thumb.
I'm still not convinced about that, but
I don't know. I just know the scene in the movie. I've never looked it up.
oh yeah,
I know that how measurement got started was from this length right here, from the tip of the elbow to the wrist.
But there's some people that takes that line of the movie by heart, and they think it's real, absolutely real, and I don't think so.
No, it's the power of media, though. We are really persuaded by it, even in ways we don't necessarily understand.
And you know what? I'm going to click and just see what happens here. Rule of thumb: the idiom "rule of thumb" originated in the 17th century and originally referred to the practice of making rough measurements using the thumb. This practice is supported by early documentation, all the way back to as far as 1658 sermon of James Durham. The misconception that the phrase originated from the archaic law allowing husbands to beat their wives with a stick no thicker than their thumb is widely refuted by etymologists. The false origin gained popularity in the 1970s and was further spread legal publication in 1982 report by the United States Commission of Civil Rights titled "Under the Rule of Thumb," quote unquote. So there you go.
Yep.
There's
Another one like that is
measurement.
prima nocta. I've looked into it. I can't find it actually having been practiced.
What?
Now maybe it was. It was where the Lord has the right to. Oh, you're married? Great. I get to bang your wife.
Yeah, prima nocta was a myth.
No, I don't think it was. It maybe wasn't as common as you think, but it definitely was a thing.
I don't know.
Yeah, but where? Because I've tried to find where did this actually happen? And that's why I'm talking about. It's one of those things that I thought it was because a bunch of people acted like it was and told me it was. Why would they be lying? And they were being honest.
It wouldn't be all over literature.
Yeah, because in the Marriage of Figaro, I know it's in that.
That's one of the most prominent one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
And
those are words of fiction. I have heard real historian make investigation about that and said there may be the closest thing that there may be is an optional law that wasn't practiced.
Well, I just believe this. I believe that there is no record of it historically because, we don't have any record.
They wouldn't have record.
The only record we have of it is through literature. And I have always said that literature is fiction, but it's usually based on something. So somewhere that happened.
That or they just gave name to it to something certain lords were doing anyways, because who's going to?
Absolutely. Because, like the irony in the Catholic Church is that at a certain point, it was decided that priests had to be
celibate.
But the priests weren't the problem. It was the cardinals and the archbishops who were out there banging people and women, I should say, but probably men too. But they were banging women, impregnating them, and the children were being born ordained into the Catholic Church in the hierarchy, birth right. But then the priests were the ones that were punished. It's like, they're not the ones doing it. And I was told one time in the Catholic Church that that cardinals are still allowed to be married. I don't know. I've never seen any paperwork on it. I just know that celibacy is one of the things that's supposed to take a vow of as priests. And
okay, I just
found
out something about this. There's actually two different cases where there are actual papers granting an important person that right. But that's just these two. It's not possible there's just no proof of people doing that. But since it's all over literature, it seems to have been a thing, probably not as common as it was, but there's actually two papers proving that these two people did have that right. In Switzerland.
Yeah, I could see someone in some giving person right, but it being along the books that the Lord just has that right by default.
That's it, exactly, that's it. We have these two papers that these people had the right. They're both in the area of Zurich in Switzerland, but there's just no way of.
But I want to point out, though, if we're talking about that, come on. There are some weird laws in the book. My hometown of Fredericksburg, Virginia, has a law on the books, or at least used to have a law on the books when I still lived there back in 1990 was when I left. So, and the law that was on the books was that you could not walk your pet alligator down the street, even with a leash.
You have weird laws in the U.S. Come on. Europe is
Yeah.
laughing. About
No,
some of
that
this
happened apparently because laws like that don't come into existence just in a vacuum. Somebody fucking walked their fucking alligator down the street in Fredericksburg, and somebody decided we need to make a law that says you can't do that.
A Karen decided. It's like,
Yeah,
this
Karen.
is disgraceful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's Karen's on one
the
hand,
real-
and
always
he's
a
so happy
Karen.
to sue everybody for every
The
shit.
real
Karens
shocking thing
Love
is,
new
is-
laws.
the real shocking thing is that it's not a law in Florida with so many Florida men.
Because
Well-
Floridians apparently know better than to walk their alligators. on the
Well,
beach.
alligators walk down the street if they want to anyway. Like, who's going to stop
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, it is, however, part of the terms of service when you sign up to Apple. Steve Jobs had the right to de-virginize your wife on their wedding day.
Okay, you've watched way too much South Park. You need to stop. Because that's part of the Human Centipede episode.
Yeah,
Oh my God, you have to.
that's just a joke. Period of the whole
Nobody ever reads the fine print.
Yeah,
That episode is about nobody ever reads the fine print. They just sign okay. Well, guess what? In the fine print, we're allowed to turn you into a human centipede.
I'm gonna click decline. Yeah.
So that's it.
On
We're
that
2 hours.
positive note, FX
Get
is
the
a
hell
fun
outta here.
movie.
Yeah, it's a fun movie. There's no behind the scenes stuff on this film. So I really don't know much about the production. I just know I love this movie. And I'm glad we did it. It's just, and I look forward to doing the second film because I just enjoy. Bryan Brown should have been a bigger movie star than he was.
He should have, yeah.
Is he still around? Maybe he could have a renaissance.
Yes, he had. Fun fact: he was in Sydney Sweeney movie with the blonde guy from Top Gun Maverick.
Okay, so he was in a few things. He was just in the TV series. I think he's in half the show, if not the full series, Darby and Joan, which is again another Australian produced production. Let's see. He was in he was in Peter Rabbit. He was the voice of Peter's father.
Nice.
But he was also in an Australian film that I really liked. I think it was just called Australia. Just a really good fucking actor. I'm looking for something. Yeah, Australia. There it is. With Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman, which they turned into a TV series, which is coming soon. I don't know. He broke it up into a series, a mini series, because he had all this additional footage. And what's that director that did that?
Laz Berman, the guy that did, like
Baz
Moulin Rouge.
Luhrmann. Not Laz Berman, but Baz Luhrmann.
Yeah.
You said
Or
it
just
backwards.
Baz Luhrmann at this point. Who cares?
I like him as a director. I really do.
I know.
like
It's
his
just
stuff.
he just has a weird name. That's the joke.
But yeah, it's like he was such a big thing in the 80s after this movie. And he was in the other Shogun. What's his name? The guy that wrote Shogun, James Clavell movie, Taipan, which came out the same year as FX. And it tanked. And it was produced by Dino De Laurentiis' daughter. This was going to be a huge thing for De Laurentiis Studios, and it ended up killing the studio. That studio went bankrupt. Then he did The Good Wife, which is another American-produced Australian film. Then he did Cocktail, and then he was in another great fucking Oscar-winning film, Gorillas in the Mist.
Sean Connery.
About Fosse and her murder. Then he did Blood Oath, which is not very big. And then he did FX2, which made money. It made bank, but the studio still went under. Let's see. I'm trying to see what else he did that was good. I've seen all of these. They're not all very good.
Yep. You know, it's funny too. Think about FX stars 2 Bryans.
Yep.
He was in the TV miniseries. He played Ned Land, the protagonist in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea miniseries.
Oh, the
back
one
in
with
97.
with Michael Caine.
Was that with Michael Caine?
Michael Caine was Nemo.
Yeah,
In
he
the
was.
whole-
Yeah, he was. You're right. No, he was. He's in that one. He plays the hero.
Nice.
Let's see. Then he played Casper Hastings again. One of the main characters in Journey to the Center of the Earth miniseries back in '99. And then he did the updated version of On the Beach, which I didn't think was very good. I prefer the original film with Gregory Peck. Still, it's a good film. It's a miniseries, 2 films. It's basically one long movie. But he got to work with his wife. Rachel Ward was in it. And the best part of that film, Armand Assante. He's a great fucking actor. And people think he's dead, and I'm like, no, he's still alive. What are you talking about? The guy's still here. We still have him.
Hey,
Tom.
Brian, if you're out there and you're watching this, we're fans.
Yeah, we love you, man. Now, Tom Baker, yes, we did Blue Thunder. You may find the show in our listing.
Yeah, just go to our page in the search the channel, put in Blue Thunder, and you'll find our coverage of that film. That was a fun episode we did. That was fun.
Remember that when we started the show, and I noticed that the slideshow was wrong, and I had to prepare it again while we were
Last
still
minute while
doing
we're
the show. My
from
God.
now on, it's like the way we resolved it is from this point forward, just put the Pop Culture Minefield logo on there. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be the show's logo. Just do Pop Culture Minefield, we'll be fine. But I love another one I want to. Did we do it or the Presidio?
No, we have done that.
God, I want to fucking do that one. He goes, see that? That's my left thumb. My right thumb's far too powerful, so I'll just use my left thumb. Beats the shit out of that guy with his thumb. Yep. Thumb to the ribs. That I told Anima, I said that, there's something amazing about hitting somebody in the fucking intercostal space.
Yeah, that hurts.
It just hurts so fucking bad. And there's this pin that they've got, and it's ribbed for your pleasure. No, it's got these ribs on it to keep it strong so it won't break. It's a pin, an actual like writing pin, but it's a fighting pin. And a martial arts instructor designed it, and it's a perfect weapon, man. And you hit somebody in the intercostal space with that thing, they're going down.
One of the worst places I was taught to get hit is the armpit.
Armpit's pretty bad. You can actually kill somebody with the armpit.
Yeah.
Because the blood vessels are right next to the surface. Major blood vessels right next to the surface. That's why it was a major spot to go for with sword fighting, because the sword would parry, and the knife, the dagger, was used to pierce under the arm. And your goal was to either hit a major blood vessel or their lung and put them out of commission quickly. Yep. Yeah, ribbed for her pleasure, Sandra. Remember that.
Ribs for our pleasure.
So, but that's it, guys. We're done here. Yep. That was fun talking about this movie, man. Makes me want to watch it again. I just want to watch it again. It's one of those films that just tickles me to no end, just the way it is.
FX3, Prima Nocta.
Prima Nocta. It's like Rachel Ward is like, It actually depends on so many things. Well, it's like he's famous, he's well known, but you talk to somebody that's been born since the late 90s, they probably wouldn't know who the fuck Brian Brown is. But if they were born in the 80s or further back, they fucking know exactly who he is. It's just what happens. And it's sad.
All right.
They say that a movie star usually has about a decade of stardom. But in our lifetime, it's been about 20 years, and except for Tom Cruise. Like, Tom Cruise is like, Jesus Christ, since the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 20-teens, the 2020s, that's 5 fucking decades he's been a movie star.
Well, he's in league with the devil, so.
Yeah, he is. But that's, part of the deal, the Prima Nocta deal with with Scientologists. They're in league with the devil.
Well, I wouldn't
He
be
made a
surprised if
prima
they
nocta
don't
deal.
do
We're
that.
so keeping that. He made a prima nocta deal.
What, Martin?
With Xenu.
Xenu.
Yeah.
Anima, you said something too I didn't catch.
I just said I wouldn't be surprised if Scientology had the use prima noctis.
Yeah, there's like a painting of him somewhere. It's like really gross.
All right. I believe as another Bryan would say, that's it. Show's over, folks.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Show's over. So yeah. Down. Latu Baraka Dicto.
Definitely an N-word. Definitely an N-word.
That's all, folks.
Y'all come back now. You hear?